Stew Leonard. I'm Alex Radisson, aka the Pickling Poet, here today to talk to you about my business and my products for a bit. So my origin story is actually kind of a funny story. So about 2 years ago, when I was studying to get my MFA in poetry from Queens College, I walked into my local Key Food one day and happened by the pickle aisle. I picked up a jar of just your basic, like Vlasic pickles. I turned it over to look at the bottom, and there was maybe a clove or two of garlic and a tiny sprig of dill. And I thought to myself, I think I could do this. I think I could do it better. I've always loved pickles and pickled vegetables. So like in that moment, I decided to add pickler to my long list of eclectic interests. So I went home that very day, started researching how to make pickles, started thinking of possible flavor combinations, everything that I would do. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I'm right in the middle of one of my test batches, one of my first runs. My wife walks home from work, and she looks at me and she says, I could have married a doctor, I could have married a lawyer. Instead, I married the Pickling Poet. And here we are, 2 years later, thousands of pickles sold. Come a long way. So we're based out of Seaford, Long Island. If I had to describe my product in 3 words, I would say artisan, creative, and unique. And so some of the things that make my products unique is, first of all, we have the literary connection. So all of our pickles are named after and inspired by famous poets and regional cuisines from around the world. I also publish my own literary journal with contributors from around the world as well. And in my in-person market events, with every purchase that a customer makes, they get a free poem from that literary journal. For our jams, they're all fun flavor combinations. I don't do your basic strawberry or blueberry jams. I do strawberry lime jalapeno, blueberry lemonade, blackberry mojito, apple pie. Just fun flavor combinations that you really can't find anywhere else. And then we have my vegan honey, which is 100% bee-free honey alternative made with apple juice, organic sugar, and lemon juice. It's been a real hit. It's one of my biggest sellers. So they have been retailing so far for $10 at my in-person markets and online, and that's been working really well. I would suggest anywhere between $7 and $10 for an MSRP. As for my competitors, no one's really doing what I'm doing with pickles and preserves here. I do have some general competitors. You talk about Pickle Me Pete, Herman's Best, Backyard Brine, all of them. But really, if you think about them, they're all doing essentially the same thing. They all have the giant plastic buckets full of your half sours, your sours, spicy, maybe a sweet blend, maybe a wasabi blend if you're lucky. But that's really it. You can swap out their names, right? You could take, if you hit Pickle Me Pete bucket, put a Herman's Best on there instead, and you wouldn't really be able to tell whose pickle is who. They really all taste essentially the same. They're all the same thing. With mine, though, it's completely different. You taste one of my pickles, you know it's the Pickling Poet. I say do the bottom of the jar check, just to see how much spices and herbs that I put into mine versus your regular supermarket pickle, like a Vlasic. As I mentioned earlier, there's really like nothing in there. It's just water and vinegar versus mine, which are chock full of spices. My biggest, or closest I should say, competitor would probably be Brooklyn Brine. They also jar pickles for wholesale the way I do, and they have some interesting flavors as well. So they're probably my closest competitor. And as for why I think that I should be in your stores, I think that our values are really aligned. We're both family businesses. We both highly value customer service and quality ingredients and products. I think my products make a fun and unique addition to your shelves. Okay? Hope to see you soon.